Welcome back, everyone, to the second half of Olympus Rises. I'm gonna go ahead and see what everybody else says to everybody else, because that's what we do. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Will, the answer to your question is not very.
But they're pretty.
They are pretty.
They are very pretty, yes, I do agree.
And trust me, I don't care if they're not balanced. I will still fucking use them, because I don't give a shit. Only for very special roles, though. Like when I really want to kill.
Have you used your giant enter button yet?
No, I have not, actually. I gotta bust that out. You have to bust that one, too. Anyway. So, Oha was going to talk to Dr. Fisher. So, Dr. Fisher,
I think both Oscar and Oha were going to.
Yeah.
Might be that Oha does most of the talking.
Oh, Oha gets there first, at the very least. So, Dr. Fisher...
You let me know when I...
Yeah, don't worry.
Finish my conversation with Fortune and arrive.
So, are you in the med bay again, Dr. Fisher?
Yeah, I think I've just got in and having a big sigh of relief.
So you're relaxing in a chair, and the door slides open. Roll me a mental effect save.
God damn it.
Perfect.
Nope.
So,
once again,
you get, as soon as you see Oha and you lock eyes with her, you get an intense migraine. And like you're photosensitive, and she walks up to you and she like pins your wrists to the arms of the chair you're sitting in and gets very close to you. And she just looks at you.
Nice to see you too. Oh, ha.
Yeah, and I think there's confusion is probably your surface thought, right?
Most definitely.
And I think she says, "How do you know them?"
You mean the monks?
Yes.
Just, first of all, it's a lot easier to talk without you doing this migraine thing that I don't understand, but it hurts.
But it's a lot harder for you to lie.
Second of all, you already know about my research with Chan and the disease that's happening on my home planet. Their MES research co-aligned with mine, and it's hard to get funding to do a super secret MES project.
Yeah, her grip tightens on your wrists until you feel as if they will break. And it's probably at that moment when Oscar like walks in and you see Oha like lording over Dr. Fisher, and Dr. Fisher, the migraine abates when Oscar walks in. Oscar, you can obviously sense the presence of residual psychic use. You feel it abate as you enter, and she releases you, Dr. Fisher, and kind of walks and stands cross-armed and leans against the wall.
Yeah, I think he assesses the situation, and
yeah, like
to Oha he says, looking at Oha, he says, could have just asked him first.
He's evading.
Yes.
How am I evading? You never directly asked me.
I asked you how you know them.
I told you. They work in MES research. I don't like the way they go with that, but that isn't my concern. My concern was always my home planet and the affliction that Chan currently has.
Fisher, I understand very well the necessity of partnerships with individuals and entities who you may disagree with. However, what I've learned is that these people may pose a direct and acute threat to members of this crew. You invited them aboard without informing your chief security officer. An aforementioned target. Do you see, perhaps, why Oha is upset?
I see why she's upset, but that doesn't mean you have to injure the injured doctor.
Oh, you'll be fine. If I wanted to break your mind, I would have done it.
Oh yeah, sure, that gives me total sense of security. Thanks for that.
Oscar does like the schoolyard thing where he just puts up like both directions, kind of raises his hands like both of you. Fisher, it would behoove you to explain the nature of your involvement with them clearly.
I honestly don't do that much. It's, collect this substance here,
Like my blood.
there. No, that's...
You've forgotten that then.
I have currently said my relationship with you is that I am monitoring your situation, and whilst it is helpful to my research, it also keeps them off my back about you. So you shouldn't have to worry about them directly coming after you, at least for the foreseeable future.
They asked me if I was afflicted.
Yes, that's their mumbo jumbo of having the MES strain, which can allow for your psychic abilities.
The one specific to your planet? Or in
No.
general?
From what I gather in general, they don't care about this feral virus that's happening on a planet at the edge of the universe and is contained. Yeah.
I wish I could say you've put my concerns at ease, but that would not be truthful.
As I said, I don't like working with them either. They're just a good ally to have in my field of research, and they haven't caused any problems with me as long as I...
You are not a psychic. What would happen to you if they learned you were?
I don't honestly know.
Guess for
Like-
me.
They keep their secrets. I barely want to have anything to do with them as is.
And this meeting today.
When we were in that godforsaken planet where we almost all got blown up,
Which? There have been a couple at this point.
The fact that that has to be asked is awful.
what was the planet called? Jordan? Or anyone?
Again, which one?
It would be easier to say if it were the opposite.
That's
Like,
on hope.
where?
The tanks, the
Oh.
crazy death-killing house, the feral child we managed to get on board. You know, that's where we almost all died.
It's Iasis.
Yes. On Iasis, there was a data pad which belonged to one of the previous ambassadors there. They asked me to retrieve it, and I gave it to them. That's all I know. That's all I did.
And this benefited your research in what way?
They give me funding. If I need a particularly troublesome ingredient to get for my research, then they can provide it. And, you know, that's very hard to do, especially when you get less and less friends as we seem to fly around the galaxy.
Oscar just mulls this for a few moments and looks to Oha.
Yeah, I think there's apprehension in the air around her.
Mm.
And she looks to you, she says, I trust your judgment. You know him better than I do. I would suspect that we should still be careful. And no more secret meetings or transmissions that we're unaware of.
Fisher, you've proven yourself to me. The company you keep outside this ship, however, I beg you not to make me regret that.
Very well, very well. Just can I please at least get an aspirin right about now?
I think Oha just looks at you and says, You're the doctor, and walks out.
Guess who I'm going to be patching up last from now on.
That may not be a concern for you. Fairly short order, actually. Might as well tell you first that pit stop in Raimondi is in our very near future.
Right, so I'll try to settle up everything and we'll get ready.
When you're ready.
Okay. So we go from there to we're in the punk rock bar, and there's probably some screamo on right now, just as a personal preference to whoever ordered that particular version of that song. and the air is kind of smoky for no reason, and there's obviously no natural light, but there's no like normal light either. It's all like neon and purple and pinks and greens and yellows and blues that kind of fill the smoke with this like rainbow-esque allure. And Gogo, when you walk in there, what's your process here? How do you go about doing what you need to do?
So she walks in, probably immediately gets like a shiver because she's like, oh, at the grating sound of the music, right? And I think she's like, okay, I have to do this. So she like takes a step forward. Now this is like, I don't want to say the most scared you've ever seen Gogo, but like the most unsure, I think, probably, because she just feels so uncomfortable in these places, but she knows she needs to. So she just like, she steals herself, walks in, finds an empty spot, and probably at the bar, probably at a table, whatever passes as one of those things in this place, which basically means elbowing her way past crowds of people with spikes and whatnot as she goes by, and plops herself down and takes a green, we'll go with green, data chip and just puts it next to her, like kind of just in front of her, which is, as the best of Gogo remembers, the universal sign for, have a problem, would like some work done, if anybody's offering their services, kind of a deal.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. And I think that as you do that, you sit there for a while, right? Nobody approaches you right away, and the bartender, who's probably like this other punk rock chick in pigtails, and she probably has like a bunch of chains. Her outfit is probably just like chains with like very skimpy underneath clothing. She comes up to you and like kind of leans down on the bar, and you notice she takes note of your chip but doesn't say anything. And she says, "What'll it be?"
Because this place is so pretentious, all the drinks are just named by color.
Yeah.
So she just kind of like looks, and she kind of looks around, and she goes, "Whatever, the pink. I'll go with the pink." She just kind of like sighs.
Yeah, and you see her. She grabs like a bottle from below that's filled with like a dark red substance, and she begins mixing a pink together for you. And she sets it on the bar, and if you take a drink of it, it tastes vaguely like bubble gum.
Yeah, so Gogo like gags immediately, but she just downs it.
Yeah, it's like Pepto-Bismol bubblegum though. So yeah, it's like kind of thick. And
good.
Yeah, perfect.
It probably has those like light up ice cubes in it too.
Oh yeah, no, like there's a little light in the bottom that like beats with the music.
Yep, seems right.
100%. So as you're moving through, you take a glance around the bar. Why don't you roll a perception check for me with wisdom? Cool, perfect. So very clearly, everybody here is too good to be here. It's the first thing you notice about all of the patrons of the establishment, because you're right, bar is not the correct word. So yeah, all the patrons appear too good to be here, too good to even be seen by others. But social interaction is a necessity for the human race, so they have to do it somewhere. And as you're kind of watching, I think that a kind of wiry, like blazing redheaded, he's basically a ginger, but he's tall and lanky. He sits down in the seat like one over from you, and like you see he looks at the chip and looks at you and gives like a little nod, and then Jesus, cat, you broke my chair. Gives you a little nod and then orders a drink. And he obviously orders an orange, just to keep with the thematics here. Which is actually carbonated. You can see that it's like bubbling. Or maybe it's extremely hot, who knows. But as he takes like a sip of it, he turns the stool that he's sitting on towards you. And kind of just, he gives you the once over as well. And he probably says, "Nice outfit."
I was about to say the same to you.
I was joking, it's awful. But at least you came to the right place. And he like, his eyes flick to the green chip next to you.
So, are you just gonna insult me, or do you actually think you can do this?
Oh, honey, I haven't even begun yet. Tell me what you need.
Just a basic write-off. Somebody pretty well known. Shouldn't be too hard.
Seems simple enough. What are you paying?
Pay decent. But, depends on, what you're asking.
Well, you said it seems simple enough. It's a well-known figure. Part of a job. Let's say 1,500. And a drink.
$1,300 and a drink. Have you seen the prices of them here? And she kind of like puts her eye back up at the board.
He kind of smiles slyly and he says, 1,300 and a date.
I thought you just said my outfit was horrendous. You could even be seen with me?
Someone needs to show you how to dress.
Sure.
Good. And he picks up the data chip, which obviously probably has like the information that he needs, right? And he plugs it into a compad and he just begins typing on it. And the weird punk rock pigtailed bartender comes back over, and she kind of like looks between the two of you and she smiles. Can you roll another perception check with wisdom, please? Okay. Yeah, so she smiles in such a way that that makes you think that like almost an eye-rolling smile. Like, oh, this again, right? That's kind of the smile she gives. But without even asking, she serves up 2 drinks. Another pink for you and another orange for him. And he drowns the first orange and kind of like almost like he's drank something sour. He kind of like, sucks in his cheeks and takes his second drink. And as he continues to work, he kind of looks up, and now he's doing the thing where he's like typing but also like looking, and he's like, "So, I'm around here?"
Does it look like I frequent these parts?
Well, not this place, obviously, but maybe around the station.
No, I wouldn't say I'm from around here.
Just so you know, we've changed colors recently. We're going with a more turquoise these days. Perhaps you should know the difference.
Yes, well, it's been a bit. I used to have a guy, but he got unplugged, let's say.
Shame. It's okay. If you came looking for love, we can serve some of that too.
You have no idea. She kind of like looks down in her pink drink and just like grimaces, kind of like pushes it away from her.
Yeah, just like one finger, like just scraping across the bar.
Like one was enough.
Yeah. And he just kind of chuckles at that and goes back to his work. And his brow kind of furrows a little bit, and he kind of looks and he's like, huh, interesting. Well, seems like we're not the only ones after this information. Don't worry. I'm sure it's just some 2-bit. I can block them out. He just continues to like type repeatedly with his thumbs. And in fact, at some point he probably holds it in one hand and just uses the fingers on his right hand to do it. He's typing and he's typing and he's typing, and you hear the clack and time seems to slow down. The band is coming back up. It's not like the house music anymore. They're probably called like the Frequent Flyers, right? Because they have some dumb punk rock name. And as they get up there, they begin playing like these weird kind of electronic instrumental music, and they're speaking, but it's not a language. It's just like various syllables at various different decibels. It doesn't seem like music. It's just very strange altogether.
Coco puts her fingers to her forehead and she's like, God, I didn't think it could get any worse.
You should be used to this, though. You listen to jazz.
Excuse you? Jazz does not compare to this trash.
And
Gogo says, actually.
yeah, and the hacker man probably says, "Oh, don't worry, we'll be getting out of here soon."
You know, if this is the only bar that's within walking distance, it's totally possible that Fortune is there.
True.
I mean, if it's a bar, there's a chance that Fortune is there.
He just attends all of them simultaneously.
I don't know. This one's pretty hard to get into. They almost didn't let Gogo in, to be fair.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. So, he says, don't worry, we'll be getting out of here soon. My place isn't far. He just continues to, like, clack away at the compad.
Gogo just smirks at his comment of his place.
And, after a while, you see that he's becoming more and more frustrated with whatever is going on. And eventually he kind of like sets the compad down. He's probably on his 3rd drink now. He sets the compad down and he kind of scratches his chin. He's like, well, we're getting closer. Shouldn't be much time now. I'm just letting this program run for a moment. And you can see like there's lines of code being run through the compad. And as that happens, you feel your personal compad vibrate.
Yeah. Gogo
So
looks at it.
you open it up, and it's clearly like an encrypted number. And it says, I've got the information that he was trying to get. Do you want it?
Single head nod.
Yeah, he just nod. Yeah, and the like typing message comes up, right? And then another message pops in, and it says, good. Meet me out back.
Other single head nod.
So as the program that he's running finishes, he gets back into it and he starts typing it in, and he starts working on it again. What do you do?
He's still there? He didn't leave?
Yeah, no, he's still like working on it. He's trying to get through whatever process is blocking him at this point.
Can I get the attention of the bartender?
Yeah, absolutely.
Without him notice, like if he's really like intently trying to,
Yeah, he's stopped doing the cool thing where he's looking at you and
yeah,
operating.
and now he's like actually trying to
Yeah,
focus
exactly.
on what he's doing.
Yeah, without much effort.
Yeah, so Gogo tries to like, she probably has that thing where she's like, makes it look like she's fixing her hair. Gogo has really long hair, so she's kind of like throwing it over to the right side of her to shade her face and is like braiding it, fixing her faux hawk, whatever.
Oh, so it's a faux
And
hawk with a
Tressa-
braid at the end. I like it.
It's braided into a faux hawk, obviously.
Amazing.
Yeah, and so I think she tries to make eye contact with
Yeah.
the bartender.
She's a good bartender. She comes over. Or
Yeah.
what was your intention here?
My intent is to I want to ask her what the deal is with this guy, obviously not in front of him. I think that on a napkin. So she would get the bartender's attention and then slide a napkin that just says what's his deal.
Yeah, so you slide it across. She kind of looks at it and she laughs for a moment. And you see her, she pulls out a pen, she writes back, and she slides it back across, and it says, it probably just says, mediocre at best. He probably just wanted the date.
Coco just smiles, halfway glad that it's not something more sinister, at the very least. And she just kind of gives the bartender a nod, like, yeah, thanks for the heads up. And yeah, she goes out and leaves.
Yeah, so you go to use the little girl's room, right? And you pull the I'm gonna walk out on your tab. And yeah, you head out the back door, and as you enter out, it enters out into kind of an alleyway in between the two, like in the red light district where you're at now, right? And as you do, there's no one back here. So you're standing kind of all by yourself for a moment. But after a few minutes, a hooded figure kind of rounds the corner and comes walking over to you, and you can't see any part of them. It appears to be completely obscured, but what you do see is that the individual is short, perhaps under 5 feet or so. And as the figure kind of holds out a data chip, you see that her skin is like a deep purple color. And you know it's a her just from this distance.
Huh. Just had one of you on my ship. She takes the data chip.
Yeah, and you plug it into a data slab right there, and it comes up with all the information. Yeah, and it's exactly what you want. It's the personal email address to Dr. Why can't I remember her name? I gave it to her.
Yeah, so I mean,
Zinnia.
the basic write-up also includes like any other pieces of note about her background.
Yeah, so you know that she studied on Eurypylos, which you kind of already knew. She actually
more details about her, estrangement with said planet.
Right. So it probably says that she is prone to take on projects. She's probably got a little bit of schizo in her, right, where she kind of bounces between things often. It makes her really good in a triage environment, but when she latches onto something, she latches onto it hard enough that she kind of ignores everything else. In addition, it probably gives you that she was married once but is now divorced. She has no children. She is worth quite a bit of credits. She has quite a bit of monetary value to her name. She owns 2 ships. One is like an escort frigate, and one is a medical barge, which is basically just like a retrofitted like tanker ship, or a retrofitted like big trucker cargo ship that's got a bunch of medical equipment and stuff on it. It says she mostly stays on that wherever she is. That's kind of like her movable home nowadays. What else? That's probably about all it gives you.
Yeah, no, that's reasonable. That's it.
Um,
Yeah, so I think after scrolling through it and being, satisfied with the information, uh, she turns back to the hooded figure and just nods and says, "Pleasure doing business with you."
And yeah, she kind of like, you see her smile underneath the hood, and she says, "It's always a pleasure." And she just turns, she folds her hands back into her robes, and she turns and goes to walk away.
Oh, no. You're not getting away that easy, not with a comment like that. And Go-Go like steps a few steps forward towards her.
Mm-hmm. And she stops. I assume you don't like reach out to grab her or anything like that.
No. I'm not like gonna assault her or something.
Yeah.
But I think I would just say, "What's with the hood? You scared I might know who you are?"
No, I'm fairly certain you don't know who I am. But never can be too careful. And you see her like motion up, and you see that there's like a panning camera that kind of like moves back and forth. It doesn't look down the alleyway. It's probably why she told you to meet you out back here. But it's like viewing the street. Do you say anything else after that?
Yeah. So, so she points that out. She's just like, "Well, you clearly know who I am. So why do you care about little old me?"
It's not so much you that I'm invested in.
Then who then?
You have friends. Friends I'd like to talk to.
Could be arranged.
Perhaps I misspoke. I'd like to see your friends from a safe distance. The one carries the big gun. Him in particular.
I think you might have to get in line for that one.
Oh, I am the line.
Gogo actually kind of giggles at that one. Like, that's a good one. Well, I hope you don't mean him any harm, though. Can't have
Questions.
that.
Questions. Confirm suspicions.
Why is it taking you so long to ask him? You seem very adept at getting your information across.
Oh, well. Not for lack of trying. It just seems as though other methods are not effective.
I could deliver a personal message for you if you could do a quick favor for me.
I've already done you one, but continue.
That guy in there thinks I'm going anywhere with him. You can make him go away for a bit. I'll tell my friend whatever you want.
Yeah, I think she kind of smiles and she says, "No, he doesn't. He struck out the moment he sat down."
You're not wrong.
Yeah, and she goes to walk off and she kind of just like waves her hand and she says, "Just show him your claws. He'll run."
Really? That easy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Gogo's kind of disappointed.
Yeah. And so she probably stops and she says, "Well, perhaps I should tell you. Tell him Claremont wants to speak."
Will do.
Don't-
But whom I should say is telling him?
He'll know what to do.
Fine. I won't push it any farther. I assume Goga goes like, thanks for that, and then she's gone.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, she's already disappeared into the crowd.
She's in the Batman, sure.
Yep, absolutely. So, do you go back inside or do you just leave?
No, I just leave.
Yeah, absolutely. So you leave and you head back to the ship, and as you're heading back to the ship, I think this is probably a good time to talk to the rest of the party about you have a delivery to make.